Well, thank you so much, Graham. Well, our next guest in studio is definitely somewhat of a jet setter because he's constantly flying all over the world in names of worthy arts, poetry. His effort paid off again this year as he won the 2016 Plaatje European Union Poetry Award for this poem, Visit at Tea Time, making his run as a poet absolutely fantastic in South Africa as well, flying that South African flag high. I'm talking, of course, about Athol Williams this morning. Athol, thank you so much for joining us, my friend.
Wonderful to be here.
Yeah, and congratulations, man, on this once again, this win. It's not only the win, but also making history for the first person to kind of scoop up the award twice in a row as well. I mean, how does this make you feel about the work that you've been putting in so far?
It's been fantastic. I think, for anyone who's developed a craft, to be recognized for your craft or your skill, that's incredibly rewarding. And so I think partly the fact I've won it and won it twice is recognition both of my development as a poet, but I think also importantly about the content of what I'm writing about, which is around social justice issues, mainly in South Africa.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Listen, let's talk about your winning poem for a second here. I mean, what was the inspiration behind it? Because it's quite of a heart-gripping poem, so to speak.
Yes,
so just in summary, what was it all about and what made you want to tell that story?
So the poem addresses two core issues. One is the scourge of rape in South Africa and the terror with which women live. The second one is the fact that there's a line in the poem that says, we are born in the shadows. Who makes the shadows? And there's the fact that some people are born into circumstances which they can't escape. And yet we then judge them very harshly in terms of the crimes they commit. Yet we as society are often complicit in creating the conditions where bad things then happen, whether it's rape or, in this case, a woman who responds to a rapist and murders him. Yeah. So we put her in prison, which is where I met this woman actually at Paulsmoor prison.
Oh, wow.
Someone who'd been raped 7 times, then murders the rapist. And so we put her in prison for murder. And I want to draw this tension between justice because of the crime she committed, but also we as society being complicit in creating the conditions where she then lives and grows up.
Yeah, sure. You're literally giving me goosebumps by what you're just saying now. I can understand why this poem caught the attention of so many. Of course, we're walking away with this award as well. Your influences when it comes to writing poems, you're constantly between, Oxford and here in Cape Town as well. You grew up in Mitchell's Plain.
That's right.
What do you think, what do you write down to as your inspiration for your poems? Is it circumstantial? Is it where you live? Is it what you see? Is it people that you interact with, like you mentioned as well?
Well, I read extensively, so I read poetry extensively, so that does influence my craft somewhat. Yeah. But my content is absolutely, as you say, it's things happening around me. So, I think poets write about different things. Some write about the beauty they see around them. I focus on the beauty I see, but particularly around the beauty I dream of for society. And I do envision worlds where we live in harmony, where we live with far less crime and anger and hatred. Yeah. So I'm influenced by what I see and then use that to reflect the content of my poems. Yeah.
So not only a poet, but you're a writer as well, an author. We'd have your book here as well. Pushing Boulders, Obsessed to Inspired. What is this book all about? I mean, let's approach the other sides of your writing for a second.
Well, it's an autobiography.
Okay.
So it's a story of my life, having grown up in Mitchell's Plain and then going on to being one of the first people to complete 5 master's degrees at 5 of the world's top universities. So I've been to Harvard, MIT, Oxford, etc. But it's a story to kind of talk about possibilities. I use the example of Wade van Niekerk running on the outside lane, still winning the gold medal.
Yeah.
And so whether you're born in Mitchell's Plain or born anywhere else, when it comes down to self-belief, resilience, following your dreams, I think we can achieve amazing things. And so I tell that story basically in the book.
I love that, man. And is that a book available to the public right now?
Absolutely. In all stores, all good bookstores around the country.
Yeah. Listen, I want to just quickly head back to your poet, Visit at Tea Time.
Yes.
Would it be too much if I ask you just to give us a line out of the poem? Would you be able to do that?
I could do that. I've got it on my phone though, so that might be tricky.
It's kind of fun. I was just taking a chance here because I know that it is such an inspiring poem. But where can people actually see it and relate to it? Yeah.
So the poem is on my website, atholwilliams.com. It's also printed in the anthology that the Plaatje European Union Award puts together. Okay. So it's in that anthology as well.
Yes. Well, congratulations once again, and thank you so much for joining us, man. And congratulations for winning that award.
Yeah.
Second time. It's absolutely fantastic. Like I said, you are truly flying our South African flag high when it comes to, it's the arts. It is fantastic. Thank you so much. So a big thank you for Athol for stopping by this morning. And once again, also for the viewers out there, congratulations to his winning this award. And it's what an historic award at that as well. So if you want to also purchase his book, Pushing Boulders, Obsessed to be Inspired, you can visit just your nearest bookstore retailer nationwide, or you can just visit his website, www.atholwilliams.com/books for more info.